see a thick chunk. Oh man, now what?
Oh man. Oh, I like disassembling rear ends. Putting my hand in the dark goo.
It smells good back there, right?
Well, no.
What are we doing?
Upgrading the 10 bolt. Just upgrading. For
why are we
funsies.
upgrading it?
Because we wanted to. No other reason.
Is it because I am an idiot and did this? Yes.
No.
Yeah. What? Oh. The opinions differ. Okay. Yeah. No. I was gonna bring this thing home finally, and just couldn't resist making a rip up the road. And as you heard in the video, it has horrendous wheel hop.
Yeah.
And this guy, it's in park for reference.
Yeah.
Cool. Welded back end, just for reference. Back end's welded.
Yes, we welded this.
No tourney?
If I do recall.
Oh no. Yeah, so we broke the axle right about, what do you say, here?
Yeah.
Right about there, and it absolutely just seized in the carrier.
Yeah, right where it necks down to the splines, snapped. And it full on seized on the splines.
We were gonna just, let's throw an axle in it in, 30 minutes, and ended up we beat the crap out of it for 30 minutes additionally.
We couldn't get the spline section to move.
Yeah, it's full dunzo.
Yeah.
So 10 bolt, didn't like wheel hop. This one probably won't like wheel hop either, but I'm gonna try and fix that with some traction bars. So what do we have here? This is something that we really didn't find a whole lot of information on swaps for, so.
And not what you bought.
Yeah, it's also not what I bought. I thought I bought a 9.76 out of a
2020-ish.
Yeah, no, I think this is an 18. They changed it in 19. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So this actually, as it turns out, is a GM 9.5 12 bolt out of a 2018 1500 Chevy GMC something or other. So we're going to hopefully make this fit and work just fine.
Yeah, we're gonna pull all of this brake setup off of it and just swap it back over to our original setup. It should
commingle.
95% all bolt back together.
Yeah.
Just be a much beefier axle.
Yes. Yeah, this is the 8.6 had 30 spline axles. This has 33s. This has a significantly, almost an inch bigger ring gear, and heyo indeed. And this has a exploder, a G80 in there, so we'll see what that do.
And this was this 373s?
I think it's 342s. I think it's the same ratio as that. It was supposed to be 373s.
I thought we spun it and it ended up being 3, because it was, 2/3 of the way around.
Heck, I don't know. We could technically count the teeth and figure out what it is.
Can't see the teeth.
That's true.
We're doing this without losing fluid, 'cause
yeah.
we don't want to spend.
We don't want to spend money on some quality gear oil that's already there and paid for, right?
No node mileage OEM fluid is much better than whatever we decide to put in it.
Yeah. We were going to get a 14 bolt.
Why are you showing that?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's not relevant.
Yeah.
That's
that's its own story, okay?
We put
Stop it.
We put a 14 bolt 9.5 in the Tahoe, which has been really good. And this is kind of very similar in many ways, just slightly different.
Yeah,
so,
hopefully not different enough that it presents any major problems. But
the thing with this is it was, I want to say it was like $750 cheaper than me buying a 14 bolt, and I'm a cheap bastard, so.
I don't remember what you paid for this.
This was
so little.
I think it was under 500 bucks.
Yeah.
Complete, and had all the brakes and all the other crap that we're going to be using on a different project. we wanted some larger brakes for something else in the rear. So this is coming off, and we're going to put some other components back on. That, and I only have single channel rear ABS on the white truck anyways.
And potentially we're going to do the old grind the caliper and make 15s fit on this.
That'd be cool. Yeah, it'd be. I have a feeling this truck will be spunky on some actual tires.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is what we're doing now. And let's see, since we've made our last video, what have we done on the truck?
Verified milkshake.
We've milkshaked it. That definitely smoked the head gasket. And once again, Sam DiMartino provided me with some BTR small bore LS. Are they LS7 or LS9?
I think we went LS9.
LS9 style.
Normal, generic, put LS9 gaskets on the setup.
Yeah. We put those in, put it back together, and it seems to be pretty good, right?
Yeah.
We got it for the most part tuned on.
Yeah, we finished tuning.
Yeah, it drives real good. Drivability is nice. Power's pretty good for just being, you know, conservative on pump gas.
Yeah.
We were fighting what seemed like knock for a really long time, and it was definitely not real knock. So we ended up adjusting the sensitivity.
Correct.
Right?
I was trying to figure out. It's been a minute.
Yeah. We haven't messed with the truck in a hot minute since we've had other stuff going on.
It's been a few months since the rear end broke.
Yes.
And it got shuffled out of.
It got shuffled out of rotation because there's other more important stuff. But yeah, we ended up turning the knock sensitivity down, and that just made everything way easier to deal with.
It seemed pretty relevant or pretty obvious that it wasn't real knock.
Yeah.
So because we weren't hearing anything, we weren't feeling anything, it didn't act like real knock. So we just. And
it was in odd conditions where there's zero reason where it should have had knock.
Yeah, it wasn't doing it the same way every time. It was just like, oh, I'm gonna knock over there, I'm knock over here. So we turned the sensitivity down. And
it's been mint, yeah.
It seems happy. So.
Yeah, it's been a happy combo, and we haven't noticed any milkshake coming back. Motor seems happy. Tune's Gucci, thanks to Mr. Spoog here. So yeah, it's getting this thing in, and after that, hopefully this transmission dies so we have something else to work on yet again.
But if you sticky rear end plus 4060 equals
kaboomy.
Yeah, I don't
slippy.
Yeah,
I got low expectations too. But we have real minimal, back to the axle, we have kind of real minimal info to work with here as far as swapping it into this chassis, but the leaf spacing looked correct on this guy. From what we
measured that out, and it should be
correct.
The same.
Yeah, we did measure it ahead of time slightly, except I'd already bought
so
it.
my confidence is waning.
Yeah, I do feel like these were bent a little bit different on the modern trucks, but nothing a BFH and some heat can't solve. It's just a shock mount.
It's just a slightly larger angle.
Yeah. Yep. Agreed. But yeah, we're gonna do a little bit of work on this and hopefully get our brake stuff swapped and have this thing functional again. Seem doable?
I don't remember if the drive shaft needs to be cut.
I don't know. We finna find out. It's we measured them at one point, and I feel like they were pretty close, but also the truck's lowered, and there's really not a lot of
yeah, lowering the truck already makes that.
Yeah. So there's every possibility that's we're gonna have to cut down the drive shaft.
But that's an easy cheap fix. That's
yeah. At that point, I just want to put the transmission in and have it cut once.
You don't have to change it for the transmission.
Oh, is the transmission? It's the same length? Oh, dope.
It's just the mount changes. The mounting.
Yeah, the yoke. The yoke is different, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we put a turbo 400 yoke in it, kind of thing.
The non-bolt-in style.
Change your
U-joint.
U-joint.
Yep. It uses a conversion, like a 5R to 1450.
1350.
I don't know. Yeah, that sounds right.
And voila, it works.
Magic.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, sweet. We're going to continue dissecting this stinky creation. All right, just for the sake of measuring, we've got a stock 10-bolt axle, and then we've got this 12-bolt. We've got a little over 32 millimeter where it goes into the carrier, and this is about 35 and a half. So not insignificant, I guess. It's a little bit bigger. That's right where we broke it too.
Wasn't there a difference between this and your 10-bolt axle?
No. Not the same thing. I want to say it like this little section right here was a little bit different.
Yeah, something was different.
Yeah.
I just can't.
I can't put a finger on it either. It's been a minute.
I don't think it was anything major. But
yeah. But yeah, this is the 10 bolt. I think it's 30 or 30. I think it's 30 spline, and then this guy is 33. So got some more engagement, I guess, and some more girth. Girth. All right. It's a different day, and here is a fine close-up of our MIG welded center section.
Quality welded.
I mean, the welds it helded, right? Or something.
Welds it helded.
Yeah. Anyways, but
so we're having trouble getting the axle out. So we wanted to hook over here. We wanted to hook something to.
Wait a sec.
There's no axle anymore.
What in tarnation?
You can see it really well.
The note. Oh, yep. There's what remains of it. Yeah, that is twisted in there to the point of it is just fully stuck. Like we beat the absolute crap out of it from 2 directions and it did nothing, and we've just since given up on this carrier. And
yeah, there's extra chunks still in there.
Yeah, there's bits and pieces. But yeah, that's the old 10 bolt that we're pulling out, and here's the axle, or what's left of it. You can see it's that's what it should look like. That's significantly less useful, would you say?
I mean, it's still a one-legged dog.
It is, because thanks to the welded differential, we were able to drive it back home.
Still drove it.
But yeah, these we'll use some forced perspective here, not forced performance at this point, to make this new axle look huge. But it is actually quite a lot bigger. It's much beefier. It's got a single step right here, where this is a step and another step and yet another step here, and is significantly skinnier and sad. So
oh yeah, I've got it turned. We've got a grenade 80.
Yeah, we got a good old G80 in this turd.
The space diff.
That I'm slightly worried about.
Space when it explodes.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it should hopefully be an improvement over this guy from an axle strength standpoint, and if we do blow up the G80, then unfortunately I will spend a couple dollars and just buy a true track, or something that doesn't suck.
Probably another rear end to put a true track in.
if it sends everything through the case, yes. But at least everything will be set up for it and will be easy, and also these diffs are ridiculously cheap because nobody seems to want to play with them. So
well, as far as our research goes, I don't remember anybody putting them in one of these trucks yet.
No, I found a whole lot of nothing, and we tried and looked for stuff and found a whole lot of nothing.
Maybe somebody didn't put it online yet. That is perfectly feasible.
There are normal people who don't just whore information out to the internet.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is substantially beefier in almost every aspect to the old 10 bolt. But what we're gonna do is hang all these brake components up and transfer the, what are they called, backing plates? Yeah, something like that.
Close enough.
Onto the new axle, so we can keep the same basic brake setup.
Yeah, theoretically, all of this brake setup will bolt directly to that.
Yep.
We just have to swap the two.
Yeah. Since this is an older one, this has only got a 3-channel ABS, so we've only got one brake line going to the rear, and we're just gonna keep it that way.
It's less complicated. There's probably gonna be some zip tying, finagling.
Yeah, but that's okay.
It'll work fine.
Yeah, nothing weird there. Yeah, we're gonna get to work swapping this in, since we never video us actually doing work.
Oh, should I do?
Yeah, do
so
something.
You don't assume that someone else does the work.
No, it's us.
Is my face dirty? Am I good?
I don't know.
I should get the right size.
Yeah,
because I obviously know what I'm doing.
Yeah, let's buzz this thing off.
One. Oh, that one came. Oh my gosh.
This is not NASCAR speed, man.
Yeah, our battery life says different.
Look, yeah. But yeah, all these
ideally, this just
gets hung up on
I'll have to zip tie it.
Yep.
Well, I'm gonna yeet everything.
Get hit by the the caliper falling
Yeah,
off.
we're gonna tie that to the that and then drop it all out of the way.
Yes, sir.
We'll see how that goes.
Yep.
I'm not doing that on camera because that'll go well.
Yeah, of course. Well, we'll naturally just hit ourselves in the head with the, or myself. I've already blown up my thumb for the day, so.
Unrelated incident.
Unrelated,
yeah,
totally not has nothing to do with this truck, of course. You know, for the record of workman's comp or, you know, whatnot.
Hey, this is still considered work.
Yes, it is. But we gonna get to it. Sweaty spoof. Dude,
it's hot in Texas.
What's the temperature right now?
I don't know today.
We're getting close to a honey bun today.
I wasn't sure if it was over 100 or not.
That's horrible. What do we have here?
Is that a 12 volt?
That's a 9.5 12 bolt that weirdly enough just kind of bolted in.
Not really weirdly enough.
Weirdly, you know, it's still a GM product, I guess,
yeah,
in a similar vehicle. But
that's a single camera in. It's been the same for a really long time.
Oh,
yeah,
okay. All right.
Yeah. Push right.
Yeah, okay.
GM thing. It's a GM thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't understand. I'm not really not a GM guy. Or am I?
Really, the only weird thing we have, like all of our stuff has holes that bolts into. Our brake lines, you know, have their brackets.
Yeah.
The only one I don't like is...
Yeah, we don't have a... It was originally had a different bracket that was held in place for dual channel rear.
What if we just made a little Z bracket and then clamped it and then bolted out to the bracket?
Totally could. Yeah.
Just so it's off and it's on its
held
own
up
little...
slightly. Yeah. It's got a little pedestal, basically.
I have the metal from the...
You do. You like making brackets.
The other bracket. No, the pre-made was from the fan that I was gonna use.
Yeah, for something else.
Yeah, I can use it on this.
When we found the just littlest smidgen of info on this on the internet, there was somebody that said that these shocks didn't really line up. And
I could see his concern.
Yeah, here's you can sort of see that it's a little far off to one side. It's a little bit canted, but given what it is, I don't think we're gonna have any issues with it.
Yeah, the shock mounts are a lot wider on this axle.
Yeah, which you could fix with a BFH or just leave it as we're gonna do, because I don't think we're gonna have any binding issues. But yeah, that's came out and went in fairly easily. I do think that we're gonna have to modify the drive shaft.
Yeah,
it looks a little tiny bit longer, but we'll see when we replace the pinion.
Our math was inaccurate.
Also, this is a huge U-joint. This is like a 10 series ish U-joint, and we don't have the ability to do a conversion joint from our 3R to this. So some of the other models had a 1355 pinion yoke that we could buy, so we bought that and we're gonna swap that on the car. So we'll see how that goes.
Or not. Since we have to modify the drive shaft.
If we have to modify it, we may consider just cutting the end of this off and having it converted correctly at the back. We'll see. I mean, if it magically is much, it's
not gonna be.
I don't think it will be either, unfortunately.
You're not changing our distance to the nut there.
Correct. Yeah, that's mighty tighty. And yeah,
and the drive shaft is already shoved all the way forward.
It is. It's all the way in, and it's a lowered truck, so it's all going to kind of work against it.
Well, I guess when it sags, it's going to pull. No, it's going to go further in, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. As soon as it goes up,
it's only going to get worse.
Yeah, it'll get worse with it being loaded and on the ground. So yeah, we're going to have to modify the drive shaft, which is okay, I guess. It's not a big deal. We got a good place locally that does an okay job. They did the boost.
I should bring this back down and bevel the. I'm kidding.
Slide it back. slot it for a little more wheelbase. I'm good. Yeah.
Just kidding.
But yeah, so there's us actually putting in a bit of work. It's horrendously hot, so we're gonna call it a day.
Yeah.
But yeah, this needs the axle stab, brakes put back in, and the drive shaft done, and we should be back on the road, I guess. Sound about right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy, right?
Oh, sorry. I'm so excited. We're about to finish. So close to finishing.
Look at this. Wow, that is a absolutely big back end.
It's an absolute unit.
It's large. All right, so this is our 9.5 inch 12 bolt out of a 2014 to 2018 Chevy 1500. Oh, what all did we have to change? We had to change the pinion yoke, right?
Yep.
Pinion yoke. So this guy, common AM part that we were able to order off Denny's Driveshaft for about 45 bucks. We bought a 3R to 1350 conversion U-joint, also from Denny's. It's like maybe 35 bucks, something like that. And we were able to reuse our stock Driveshaft. We still have about an inch of inward travel, and that's at ride height too.
Yeah, we
were a little concerned with that.
We screw jacked the rear end up and lowered the lift just to see if this gap would change any. Yeah. And it really didn't. So I'm not really concerned about it moving in and out like you would on a normal truck that has a lot more travel. Yeah,
this is definitely limited on rear suspension movement. But we swapped all of the brake parts. We put the backing plates, wow, I can't talk worth of crap today. Backing plates from the 10 bolt onto this, along with the stock brakes that were on this truck, so we could keep this our basic 3-channel, since this only has 3-channel ABS. Yeah. It's only one line going to the back brakes, is what I'm trying to say. Our shocks fit mint, no issues.
Good enough.
Yeah, good enough for us. Almost all of our e-brake, brake lines, everything else had its basically a good bracket to go onto, and this was honestly really simple. We were a little worried about maybe finagling some of these parts together to try and get them, you know, playing nicely, but it wasn't bad. We were able to harvest this off the original setup to basically support our.
Yeah, I think it held the speed sensor wiring previously.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, and we chopped those off, and we just used them as a plug.
Yep, so those are in there. This will never have rear individual wheel speed sensors. So yeah, that surprisingly not too bad.
Yeah.
And that gives us a much bigger axle, much bigger diff. We'll see if the Grenade 80 holds up to any amount of abuse. Grade 80, grade 80, yeah,
grade 80. It's a 4 grade 80.
Something like that.
It's a 4 grade and a grade 80.
But yeah, we've got to put wheels back on this thing and put it back on the ground, see what it does. What'd you see?
Our random, that's a world's worth flashlight right now. I had my spacer.
Oh yeah, that was when we put this, because it had that, that, what do you call that thing, a roll pan on it previously?
This is what happens when you have a bolt bend and you just find stuff that works.
Yeah. I mean, it's on there.
Yeah, it just, that's a snake skin.
That is a snake skin. That's cool.
Oh, that's spooky.
I'm out.
That's straight up spooked.
With that finding, it's back to the studio.
Oh my god.
Why would you, what? Anyways, so we did find one thing weird with swapping to this back end, and it was something that we found some info on the internet but disregarded.
Well, I'm not sure English was his first language.
I don't know. That's okay.
So it didn't translate very well.
Yeah.
So, along with the shocks being very crooked, they're in a different location altogether.
Yeah.
It swings it out farther away from the axle, which makes it really short, at least on one side.
Correct. Yeah.
So it appears we bottom out on shocks probably 6 inches before we bottom out on frame.
Yep.
Which is not very far. Frame is like 8 inches away.
Yeah. The yeah. So the original shock perches on the axle were inset by what would you say, like 4 or 5 inches?
Yeah, at least.
These ones are underneath the bump stop pad.
These are further out.
Yep.
And they stick out away from the axle. Yep. So you just took the whole thing and went
shoved it real close in.
Yeah.
So if you want to try this, you could definitely reposition these, or
we may need more than drop shocks. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's going to take a little bit of finagling.
We definitely need to play some games with it, but it still has some travel, but it's definitely limited. It's maybe got what, like 4 inches of travel currently?
Yeah, maybe, I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, that's something.
It's like 2 or 3. It's not very many.
Yeah, but we're gonna see if it works. So we're about to take it for a spin.
Like instant see if it works.
Yeah, instant see if it works for sure.
Does the wheel hop worse on the smoothest concrete known to man?
Who knows, but we will find out.
So So we're fortunate enough to have our own burnout pad down here of the smoothest concrete known to man. So let's see what it does. Much better, much better. Yeah, easy peasy. Oh, he got in the dirt a little bit. Whoopsie. Don't tell Robert.